only wanted to make this video to help some of you folks out. I just got done doing a bunch of stuff to this rig, and finally I was able to get my taillights and stuff working with LEDs. The trick was to get a 4 to 5 or 5 to 4 trailer connector, install that to the taillights, and then up front you have to put 2 of these big old 50-watt resistors on both sides instead of one in the front and one in the back, because if you do that, it'll work fine until you hit the brakes and then it'll hyper flash. But other than that, got the main harness all wired up, lumen over down into all the pump and alternator. This system only runs the alternator, no AC, no power steering pump. The power steering pump is over here. It was in the back underneath my flatbed, and another swap member showed me this spot, and I was like, man, this is pretty sweet. So I moved everything over here and saved me a whole bunch of hose. Unfortunately, the pump took a turd. I have a fuel set up right there. It is fairly close to the exhaust, but everything's super wrapped and super nice in the winter. Keeps your fuel warm. And a little pump with some alligator clips in case I get air in the system and I need to bleed the system. I can just plug that onto the battery and bleeds the system super quick. Relay here for ignition. Where's that connected? I put it right there. That is the ignition on for the relay, and then this powers the ECU, headlights, bunch of stuff. I have one more relay I got to put in for the glow plugs. That's what this one right here is for. Vacuum line. This is so easy. N75 to turbo. This right here, this black line comes up to a T, which runs down to the vacuum pump and then over to the brake booster. And that's it. That's all the vacuum line I ran for it. Be it right, wrong, or indifferent, it works. I got the top mount GTD 1756 VRK, which gives me quite a bit of clearance for the starter, which the original turbo didn't, and I really like it. And this matched with some 260 injectors and a tune, oh my lord, and an 11mm pump, which right now unfortunately I'm on a 10, and I'm just waiting for the 11 to come in the mail. I ran the original VW pressure bulb and then just took that from there up to a T and then up to the pressure bulb, and then there's one more T for the one that comes off the back of the head and for the rear coolant coming off the back here. Both of these, the upper and lower radiator hose, are exactly the same. This is the VW part number. I believe it's the one that originally came off of here on the VW car. I can't remember. I do have one of the VW bleeders right here, and then behind that is my switch, my thermostatic switch for my fans, or fan. Haven't had any issues with it overheating. My power steering, I did have a little bit of issue with it leaking, but I'm going to get a different fitting that will actually fit the Toyota stuff, and then that should be good. Let's see, you wanted to know about intercoolers. The intercooler on this is just a run-of-the-mill rectangular intercooler, but it fit so nice behind this. It was a little tight, but grill was still able to go in. Looks factory. And then let's see if I can get a shot of it. Around the pipe, I use this, or the holes that I cut for the intercooler tubing. It's this stuff that they use for doors. It's rubber with a little bit of aluminum in it, like for bump stops. And it's flexible enough that you can do the 3-inch holes or 4-inch holes, whatever you got to cut to get your elbows in. But yeah, it comes out the turbo, goes to the intercooler, and then from the intercooler to the intake from that side, and then from here over is this, and this is a little forklift. It's a forklift air cleaner. Works really good. That way the snorkel is actually functional. This was the other piece that comes off for the N75 right here to this part of the intake. And then MAF sensors on the boost pipe from this side over to the intake. It's just sitting right here. You know, nothing super special. This is a aftermarket Toyota radiator. Keeps it as cool as I could ever want it. Probably cooler than I want it in the wintertime. But I got space here. I can chuck some cardboard or something, keep it a little bit warmer. Yeah, that's about it. One more thing, almost forgot. For the ECU, I just got done finishing this, but actually, I don't know if you can see it back there, but I shoved it in, and I actually took the glove box off and then tucked it in there and did some zip ties and stuff, and yeah, ECU's in there and ready to rock and roll. I did do my EGTs, boost, and oil pressure. For temp and RPM, I did the little ultra gauge. And set it right there with Velcro. And sure, I could have done temp with the OEM gauge, but it's right there. The heck with it. Works pretty good. The body is on a 3-inch body lift, so I didn't cut these and extend them or anything. I just had to notch out a piece of the floor right here and cut some of this stuff. I'm still working on a Crown Royal bag boot for my shift knobs, and of course stereo, but whoop-de-whoop. If you got any other questions, let me know.